Hey everyone, today we're going to try to make some beef jerky in the sun oven. I've made beef jerky before, but never in the actual sun oven, so we're going to see how that goes. Now last night I started marinating this beef jerky, and I've got a couple. This stuff's the hotter stuff, this stuff is the not so hot stuff. And basically beef jerky, without going through too much detail, the main parts of beef jerky are your Worcestershire sauce, your soy sauce, and your liquid smoke. You can kind of just go off in any direction from there. In this stuff I put a lot of black pepper. This is peppered beef jerky, some red peppers, some onion powder, a little bit of brown sugar, or you can use honey as well, and then a little bit of garlic. And then let this sit in there for overnight. I mean, it can go for a couple days if you want, but so this stuff is ready. It's been sitting overnight. So what we're going to do is kind of clear all this stuff off, and then we'll get the sun oven ready. I'll move the jerky up here in the sun oven, and we'll get everything ready to go, and you can see how that works. First of all, what I'm going to do is line the bottom of this with the parchment paper that came with the sun oven, or you can buy it at the grocery store. The reason I'm using this instead of foil is because foil will reflect the light out, and I don't want that. I want all the light to stay in there. And I know these juices are going to fall, and it's going to make a mess, so we'll see how well this works. I've never done this before, so this is the first try, and we'll see how it works and if there's a better method next time. But just throw some of this paper down here. Okay. And then what we're going to do, and I'll show you how this process works, but this rack, we can stack the other racks on top of it and then throw this in there. But I'll show you how that works, and I'll show you when it's all set up. So let's go get the beef jerky ready to put in here. Alright, so I want to get as many juices off of the beef jerky as I can before I put it in there. So what I'm going to do is I've got this big roll of paper towels. I love these things. You can get these at Home Depot or your local hardware store. But I'm just going to pull off a big chunk of this, get a double layer. I'll get a couple of these. We'll set this out right there, and then we'll start putting the beef jerky on here because you want to get the most stuff off. That way it's a little less mess when you put it in the sun oven or your oven or wherever. So I'll just throw these on there. And this is going to make a mess on the counter, but it's a lot easier to clean this off than have to dig in the corners of the sun oven. Okay, so that's the hot set, and what we're going to do, the spicy set. What we're going to do is take another piece of this paper towel roll and just pat these dry. Like I said, try to get the most off of there as you can. And another thing when you're making beef jerky too is try to get as much of the fat off of the meat as you can, because that takes a little bit longer to dry, and it'll be kind of chewy. It'll just take longer to do it. So if you can get the fat off, it works better. So these are basically ready to go on the racks. So what we'll do is we'll take the bottom rack that's got the hinged sides on it, and let me see how I can do this where you can see it. I'm going to go the other way. We're just going to throw this stuff on there. Don't overlap it, because you want even airflow and everything going through there. And if it hangs over the sides, not a big deal. Okay, so we've got that first one set up. Now we'll take these other racks, and they kind of stack on top of these. Alright, so I changed my plan here a little bit because these don't quite sit on there like this. which I thought they would, but they don't. So I've got to turn it over and put them on that way. And there's not enough room in there, so I just left that bottom one blank. But we have 3 of these, so we should have plenty. And so I've got these first 2 set up. We'll just throw them on there. And then I've just got to get the milder stuff set up on this last rack. Now we are good to go to take this outside in the sun oven and see how long it cooks. I'm not real sure how long this is going to take. I've seen a sun oven video where it says it takes about a day and a half. This is the thinner cut flank steak, so I don't think I did that so it wouldn't take as long. And it's about 8:30 in the morning right now, so hopefully this gets done in one day, but we'll see as we do that. But let's go ahead and get outside, throw this in the sun oven, and then we'll see how it works. Alright, so I'm going to throw this in here. And what we want to do is close this, and we want to pull this latch in there so it gives it about a ½ an inch of room to kind of breathe. Now this is the first time I've done this, so I want the temperature to be between 100 and 150. So I'm going to do some tweaks and adjustments, and then I'll let you all know what I did afterwards. But we're going to see what I can do to get it to maintain that 100 and 150 degree temperature. We don't want it directly in the sunlight, but like I said, I got to do some tweaks. So we'll see how this works, and then I'll come back and let you know kind of what's working for me. So alright, so I moved the sun oven around back here, and I've had a couple issues because I've had it focused too directly into the sun, and it got a little bit too hot, and then I turned it away too far, and then it got a little too cool. And that's because the insulation inside collects that heat, so I had to wait for it to dissipate. But I think I finally got it now, and it's basically the sun comes in and I guess, you know, it's going to be trial and error, but the sun hits these two more than these two, and it bounces in there, and that maintains, we're at about 130 degrees. So that's pretty good for right now. Another thing I'm going to do is just rotate these a little bit. Take this top one, set it on the bottom, close this back up, make sure we have that latch under there, and let those go for a while. I think I've got it now, so we'll see. We'll come back and check this about every 20 minutes or so, but the next part of the video will be when it's done, hopefully this afternoon. Alright, so the moment we've been waiting for, we'll see if this is done or if I'm going to have to put this back in. I'm out of sunlight right now, so if this isn't done, I've got to put it back in there, and in the morning, and I'll seal it nice and tight shut, and that way it suspends the drying process. But in the morning, I'll put it back out for a few hours. But let's see right now and see if we can, if you break it like that, there shouldn't be any pink inside. And it looks like maybe, this looks pretty good actually. Oh, there we go. It looks pretty good actually, so I think this is good. I'm going to try a couple more pieces. If not, I'll throw it back in the sun oven and cook it for a little bit more tomorrow. But for the most part, looks like some really good beef jerky.